Hello everyone, welcome to IASBABA's 60 days rapid revision series for Prelims 2022. This is day 60 and we are taking up environment and ecology. So these are the topics we are discussing, and before that we will go with the guessworks as usual. So which one of the following is the reason why astronomical distances are measured in light years? So friends, here the distance among the stellar bodies do not change. So in Big Bang it will change, we know that. We will cut this. Then gravity of stellar bodies do not change. So friends, gravity has nothing to do with the distance, and here it will change actually if the mass of the stellar bodies increase or decrease. So again we cut this. Then the light always travels in a straight line. So friends, we have heard about the reflection, diffraction, interference, etc. So we know that light will not travel in a straight line if it is reflected. So again we cut this, and the speed of light is always same. So this happens to be proper. And friends, this also aptly suits for the distance is equal to speed into time. Say for example, here the time is a variable, and if the distance has to be constant, the speed should be a constant. Or in other words, if the distance between the earth and the sun is 1 light year, so if light travels in a straight line, so every time it will take 1 year only. So that means every time it is traveling with the same speed. So analyze likewise. It is an easy question. Then we adopted parliamentary democracy based on British model. But how does our model differ from that model? So here, as regards legislation, the British Parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India the power of Parliament to legislate is limited. Yes, in British Parliament, the Parliament is itself supreme, but here in India we have Constitution which is supreme and not the Parliament. So a correct statement. And then in India, matters related to constitutionality of the amendment of an act of Parliament are referred to the Constitution bench by the Supreme Court. So friends, here again the Constitution bench is one of the unique features of India, and this will not be present in UK because there is no written constitution at all, and it works only with the maxims. So again an easy question, we go with both 1 and 2. Then with reference to union government, consider the following statements. So here N. Gopalswamy Iyengar committee suggested that a minister and a secretary be designated solely for pursuing the subject of administrative reforms, promoting it. And in 1970, the Department of Personnel was constituted on the recommendation of Administrative Reforms Commission 1966, and this was placed under the Prime Minister's charge. So friends, here if you go with the UPSC, 1970 can be wrong, or maybe the 1966 can be wrong, the Prime Minister's charge can be wrong, and here again. So in this statement itself, there are so many ambiguities, and also these type of options are very dangerous. We cannot choose any of them. So we will leave this question. We don't take extreme risk here. Then the right to privacy is protected under which article of the Constitution? So we all know this, the Article 21. Then consider the following statements. In India, there is no law restricting the candidates from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. So friends, here this no law is extreme. So somewhere in the Representation of People Act, there might be one act where the minimum number of constituencies is 2. So that is why we see the trend. So most of the leaders, so even though they have the demand for contesting in more than 3 constituencies, so they resorted only for 2. We know Rahul Gandhi, he contested in Amethi as well as in Wayanad, and Narendra Modi, so Vadodara and Varanasi. So likewise, and in 1991 Lok Sabha elections, Shri Devilal contested from 3 Lok Sabha constituencies. So friends, here we don't know this fact, but still there is a logic in this. So we will keep it for further analysis. And then as per existing rules, if a candidate contests in one Lok Sabha election from many constituencies, so his or her party should bear the cost of by-elections to the constituency vacated by him in the event of him or her winning in all the constituencies. So friends, this is something politically impossible. So no politicians will agree that if I win in both the constituencies, I will spend the money. And politicians cannot be called as politicians if they agree for this. So this is a hypocrisy, and here 1 and 3 are wrong and 2 only is the option. So we will go with that. So friends, here coming to the second statement. So here we know that T.N. Sheshan was at his peak from 1991 to 1996. So somewhere around 1995, he might have brought this 2 constituency rule, but earlier people might have contested. So in 1991, Shri Devilal might have contested, and after that the rule might have been brought. So 2 stands to be correct here. So these were the guessworks for 2021 prelims, and coming to the evaluation. Friends, these are the ones which we thought that we would leave. So Babu Bhuti question, then songs from prison question, then Nizam of Orkut and the chronology question, then Pushyabhutis, so aftermath of Guptas, and then Madanapalle question, Francis Xavier question, then Lycans Moses question, and then the urban cooperative banks, and they are elected by the local boards. So we saw that this is somewhere ambiguous. We don't know whether it is generic term or ambiguous term. And then what is FDI and FPI, and then the hedgehog, marmot, etc. Then who is a filter feeder? Then seahorse. So whether it is detritivorous or not. Then common carbon metric. We discussed that we are not getting any hints for this and all have the word assess. And then the Lawrence Award and Didwana and then Gopal Swami Iyengar Committee. Then Sri Devilal also and then the palm oil tree. So all these we consider it, we have not attempted. So if we deduct 18, so it is like 82 we have attempted. And that we have 50-50 here, that is the Summer Olympics, then Bharat Ratna question and then the Climate Smart Village question. So friends, we will go with the worst performance. So we take that apart from this, so 20 more we did wrong. So not the 4, I am taking 20. So even in that case, so you will be having 62 correct. So 62 means 124 and then you will be doing 20 wrong. So that means 13 marks are deducted. So even then your score will be 111. So 111 is much more. It is almost 20 marks more than the cutoff, which is probably standing to be 92 to 93. So that means you have more than 24 questions to 25 questions wherein you can considerably do a mistake and even then clear prelims. But if you haven't cleared prelims, despite all these things, despite taking 25 chances, so that means there is a basic drawback in your approach. There is a basic drawback in your attempt and thought process inside the exam hall. So make sure that you refine your thought process, and when God is giving 24 chances to you and you are missing all those chances, so that means you are not a serious candidate for UPSC civil service preparation. And UPSC clearly says that prelims is only for filtering the serious candidates. So think of it. Then coming to the topics, 15th meeting of the Conference of Parties of the CBD. So recently the 15th meeting of the Conference of Parties to the Convention on Biological Diversity was held in Kunming, China. So mark China is important here. Then the main objective of COP15 was to adopt a post-2020 global biodiversity framework to replace and update the strategic plan for the biodiversity 2011 to 2020 and the Aichi biodiversity targets. So this convention spoke about upgrading the Aichi targets and also having a separate targets for the aftermath of 2020. And according to the findings of the 5th Global Biodiversity Outlook, at the global level, none of the 20 targets have been fully achieved. So none of the 20 Aichi targets have been achieved. So it is time to pull up our socks and be ready for that. And then the adoption of Kunming Declaration. So it said that there is an urgent action that is needed to reflect the biodiversity considerations in all sectors of global economy. So not one or two, all sectors should consider this. Then it also noted the efforts of many countries to protect 30% of their land and sea areas by 2030. So that is 30 by 30 target. So friends, mark this as important. So such acronyms you can get in the prelims. Then the Kunming Biodiversity Fund. So China had established the fund which approximately has the US dollars of 230 million to support the projects for the protecting biodiversity in developing countries. And the conference called for increasing involvement of the private sector, including an open letter from business CEOs to world leaders urging for the bold action against the destruction of biodiversity and for the conservation of the same. Then the Global Environmental Facility, UNDP and UNEP. So all these committed for fast tracking the financial and technical support to the developing countries in their aim towards conserving biodiversity. So these are some of the facts for the COP-CBD. So friends, in the overwhelming presence of the Glasgow Summit, so we neglected CBD. So make sure that you will pick up this as well. Then the India State of Forest Report. So Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change recently released this in 2021. So here it is an assessment of Indian forests and it is published every 2 years with the Forest Survey of India under the Ministry of Environment. And the first survey was published in 1987 and this 2021 report is the 17th report. So mark all these facts as important like 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then the new chapters introduced in the ISFR 2021 are, that is the forest cover assessment in the tiger reserves and tiger corridor areas. So that has been taken up for the first time. Earlier the forest count was not being done in the tiger reserve and tiger corridors. Then above ground biomass estimation using synthetic aperture radar. So friends, earlier also biomass was being estimated, but now it is like with the help of synthetic aperture radar. So we are going for a precise assessment of this above ground biomass and then mapping of climate change hotspots in Indian forests. So even the climate change hotspots we are mapping this year. And also the brief report. So friends, the total forest cover, so that has increased by 0.22% and then the very dense forest has increased, but the moderately dense forest, so that has decreased. and the open forest has increased, and the scrub forests, so that has also increased. So friends, this is the odd one out. So such ones are the hotspots of UPSC. So mark this as important. And also friends, we know that the report is very lengthy. So don't waste time in by-hearting all the reports. So search for such extremities, search for such odd man outs, and only remember them so that your revision will be very aptly suitable to your guessing strategies. Then come to next, the key updates of the IUCN. So here over 900 species of animals have become extinct. So this is what the IUCN report says. And IUCN also officially launched its green status. Friends, we know that till now it was been releasing the red data book, and now it is the green status. That means the first global standard for assessing species recovery and measuring the conservation impacts. So whichever species are recovering from the extinction to vulnerable and vulnerable to near threatened, so that is also being recognized. And they are represented by a species recovery score and by 4 conservation metrics, that is conservation legacy, conservation dependence, conservation gain, and recovery potential. So these are the parameters on which a green status is given. Then some of the green status species are the pink pigeon of Mauritius, then burrowing betong of Australia, then Sumatran rhino. Friends, go to internet and see what is a betong. So take it as an assignment here. Then the species whose status have changed. So in the recent updates, so several species IUCN status, so they have changed. Say for example, the Komodo dragon. So it is the world's largest living lizard. So it is a lizard, it is not a dragon per se. And it is endemic to Indonesia and has been moved from vulnerable to endangered. And the albacore tuna and the yellowfin tuna, so they were moved from near threatened to the least concerned. So an improvement here. And then Erakude gecko. So gecko means it is a big lizard species. And this moved from least concerned to endangered. And the Satara gecko was moved from vulnerable to critically endangered. So a worsening of the thing. And then yellow monitor was moved from least concerned to endangered. So friends, here again, go to internet and see what is this yellow monitor. Then the Fin's weaver. So here, this is a bird species and this has changed from vulnerable to endangered. And this is primarily found in Uttarakhand and Western Uttar Pradesh. And then we have lesser floricon. So that has changed from endangered to critically endangered. So it is worsening and it is only found in India, particularly in Rajasthan and Gujarat. So friends, only found. So mark this as important. Then the Nicobar imperial pigeon. So this was earlier least concerned and now it has become near threatened. And it is found only in evergreen forests of Nicobar Islands. So mark this only as important again. Then come to next, the green imperial pigeon. So this was earlier least concerned and now it has become near threatened. And it is distributed in India, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Southeast Asia. And they are found in forests, mangroves and grasslands. So in the forest, mangroves and grasslands of all these nations, it is being present. Then the mountain hawk eagle. So this was least concerned earlier and now it has become near threatened. And it is distributed in Indian subcontinent and in Indochina, then Southeast Asia and then Japan and Indonesia. And it has been observed in the mountains at altitude of 4,000 meters, mainly in Himalayan region. So friends, hawk eagle, so that is an eagle species, so not so difficult to imagine. Then the Indian Ocean humpback dolphin. So friends, we revised about the Indus, Gangetic and Irrawaddy dolphins. So here we have one more, that is the humpback dolphin. So its IUCN status is endangered. And these dolphins, they prefer the shallow and near shore waters of the countries in the Indian Ocean and ideally with a freshwater input. So in the shores of Indian Ocean, wherever there is a freshwater input, these dolphins are being found and they can be found not far from the shore in the coastal waters of South Africa and then the coasts of East Africa and also in the west coasts of India. So remember the IUCN status and also remember the habitat. Then the Kundania and Koringa wildlife sanctuaries. So friends, first one, the Kundania Wildlife Sanctuary. So that is situated in the Palamner Kuppam forest range of Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh. And here the Kaindinia and Kaigal tributaries of Palla river. So that will flow nearby it. And this is the only home for Asiatic elephants in Andhra Pradesh. So friends, here is a brief map of it. So here we can see the Kaundinya Wildlife Sanctuary and here the Palla river flows. And here we can see the border of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu here and Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka likewise. And the Palamner that is present here and Chittoor is present here. So friends, make a screenshot and preserve such PPTs so that it will be helpful for the last moment revision. Then the Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. So this is around 177 square kilometer area and it is eco-sensitive zone. And here we can see how it is present in the coast and hence it is an ESZ. And it is situated on the deltaic branches of Gotami and Godavari river at Kakinada Bay, and it is the second largest mangrove forest stretch, and it is one of the nesting grounds of olive ridley turtle. So here we have the Godavari river, and this is the ESZ and the mangrove forests, and somewhere near to this the Gautami river is also found. So look at a brief map of it, and here we have Kakinada. Then come to next, Attapaka and Valmiki tiger reserves. So first one, Attapaka. So this is located in Kolleru Lake on the Krishna and West Godavari borders in Andhra Pradesh. And Kolleru Lake is one of the largest freshwater lake in India. And this is having the grey pelicans and painted storks as important birds. So friends, here we can see the Kolleru Lake here, and then very near to it, the Attapaka bird sanctuary is present. And here very near to it, this Upputeru river, so that is flowing. So mark all these as important, and any other places if you know, so you can mark this here. Then come to next, Valmiki Tiger Reserve. So this tiger reserve has started planning for conservation of vultures after 150 of the vulture birds are sighted recently here. So now Valmiki Tiger Reserve is going to protect the vultures, and this forms the easternmost limit of Himalayan terai forest in India, and this is the only tiger reserve of Bihar. So it is in Bihar and it is in the edge of Terai region. So we know that Terai, Bangar, Kadar, etc. So revise that here. And then the river Gandak flows near to it. And here we can see a brief map. And this is the river Gandak, friends. And Valmiki is here. And Chitwan National Park. So look at here. Then come to next, the Bir Shikargar and Parambikulam. So first one, Bir Shikargar. So here 8 critically endangered oriental whiteback vultures were released into the wild for the first time in India from this sanctuary. So remember, Bir Shikargar here we have released 8 oriental whiteback vultures. And this is situated in Panchkula, Haryana. Friends, Panchkula is a very important place. And as and when you move from Delhi to Punjab, so you will come across this place, and it houses the Vulture Conservation and Breeding Center in Pinjore. So remember friends, Pinjore is also an important vulture breeding center. And this is also designated as the eco-sensitive zone, and here leopards, elephant, cheetah are all present. So a brief map of this. So here we have the Bir Shikargar, and here we can see the Himachal Haryana border and the Punjab Haryana border here. So mark Sukna Wildlife Sanctuary here, and Panchkula is present near it. And also locate Chandigarh here. And Pinjore is here, and one river is flowing. So take it as an assignment. So find out which is that river. Then come to next, Parambikulam. So Parambikulam Tiger Reserve. So the foundation of the reserve has won the Earth Guardian Award for its efforts in supporting the conservation of tigers and biodiversity. So remember the Earth Guardian Award. And then coming to the brief map. So here friends, the Kerala Tamil Nadu border is going. And in this border, here we have the Alayar Reserve Forest and Nelayampatti Forest Reserve is here. And then the Parambikulam Lake, that lies somewhere here. And Akamalai Forests and Manoboli Forest Ranges are present near to it. And Sholayar Dam City, so that is present, friends. Shola Forests, so friends, the Sholayar Reserve Forest is also present here. So look at all these things. Then, coming to more facts, it is a well-protected part of Nelayampatti Annamalai subunit of Western Ghats. And friends, Parambikulam has a place called Kariyan Shola, and this is a part of the Sangam range of Tiger Reserve, and this is recognized as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. So remember Kariyan Shola, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so that is present within the Parambikulam. And the rivers like Parambikulam, Sholaya River and Tekkedi River, so they are flowing nearer to it. And then the Ramgarh Vishdari and Kumbhalgarh sanctuaries. So Ministry of Environment approved the conversion of Ramgarh Vishdari sanctuary in Rajasthan Bundi district into 4th tiger reserve in the state. So now it is becoming the 4th tiger reserve of Rajasthan, and Ramgarh Vishdari sanctuary will link Ranthambore tiger reserve in the northeast and Mukundra Hills tiger reserve on the southern side. So friends, mark Ranthambore and Mukundra. So this is a very important fact, and here it has Dok, Khair, then Salar, Kirni trees and others. Friends, these are the floras. So they are plants and trees. Don't confuse them with animals. And here we have a brief geography of the Ramgarh Vishdari. So this is very nearer to the Palpur Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary and the Chambal River that flows somewhere here. And here we can locate the Rajasthan Madhya Pradesh border. And here we can see the Gandhi Sagar Dam. And also locate Kishangarh, then Ajmer and Bilwara and Chittorgarh and other important places of Rajasthan. Then come to next, the NTCA has ruled out declaring Rajasthan's Kumbhalgarh and Thodgarh Rohli Wildlife Sanctuaries as Tiger Reserve. So friends, as Ramgarh Vishdari got the designation of Tiger Reserve, Kumbhalgarh failed to get it. So here we can see the brief location of Kumbhalgarh. And friends, here the river Luni is flowing. And these are the various tributaries of Luni. And here we can see the Javai River is there. And then the Khari River is present here. and we came back to the same Bilwara district. This is the eastern part of the map we studied in the last slide, and this Kumbhalgarh forest range, so that is present in the catchment area of Luni river. So mark other important places here. And friends, the reason why Kumbhalgarh was rejected because the proposed tiger reserve is an isolated patch of forest and it has no connection with Ranthambore, which is the only tiger source population. So mark this as important. So this is the only tiger source population. So whatever tiger reserves are present in Rajasthan, so the source goes to Ranthambore. And then their landscape, that is the landscape of Kumbhalgarh, was unsuitable to hold the viable big cat population. So landscape was another reason for rejection. Then come to next, Kumbhalgarh Wildlife Sanctuary is located in Rajsamand district of Rajasthan, and this also covers 4 hill and mountain ranges of Aravallis, that is the Kumbhalgarh range, then Sadri range, then Desuri range and Bokada range. So friends, mark all these as important, and if possible do map work on this. Then the Marwar plains lie to the northwest of the sanctuary. So again an important fact, and small rivers such as Sukdi, Mithidi, then Sumer and Kot, all of which are tributaries of Luni, so they will also lie here. So again friends, we remember that both Ramgarh, Vishdari and Kumbhalgarh, so they lie in the catchment areas of Luni river. Then come to next, the Great Indian Bustard. So here we can see the bird, and an array of solar and wind energy projects in Rajasthan has led to increasing collision of the Great Indian Bustard. And then the bird is called Son Chiria in Madhya Pradesh and Great Indian Bustard in English, and is also known as Godawan in Rajasthan and Maldog in Maharashtra. So you can always get a math the following friends. So just have a glance over this. Then the bird is ground nesting and omnivorous, and most often it is found in arid and semi-arid grasslands. So but obvious friends, in Rajasthan we get only arid and semi-arid areas. And then the largest population of this is present in the Thar desert. So remember these facts. Then come to next, the spot-billed pelicans. So a nematode infestation has led to the mass mortality of these spot-billed pelicans at the Telinilapuram important bird area. So friends, we had discussed Telinilapuram in the previous classes. So we discussed about the spot-billed pelican and the nematode. Friends, what is a nematode here? So this is an organism under the subphylum Nematoda. So nematoda is not a phylum, it is a subphylum. So remember that. So nematode infections are commonly found in the gastrointestinal system of all orders of reptiles. So this is a common worm in reptiles, but however the pelican is aves, so it is not reptile. So for aves also this is coming. Then the spot-billed pelicans, so that lives in the lowland freshwater, brackish water and even in the marine wetland areas. And the Pelican Bird Festival 2018 was held for the first time in Atapaka Bird Sanctuary at the Kolleru Lake in Andhra Pradesh. So this we already discussed in the previous slides. Then it was jointly organized by Andhra Pradesh Tourism Authority and the Krishna District Administration. So here remember the bird festival and where it was held in 2018. Then come to next, the dragonflies and the Malayan giant squirrel. So according to first global assessment of these species in the updated IUCN red list, so here it is like the 16% out of 6016 species are facing the risk of extinction. So 16% of the total number of species, they are facing extinction here. And then dragonfly, so they are highly sensitive indicators of the state of freshwater ecosystem. So remember these are the economic indicators, and major threats to them include clearing of forests for residential and commercial constructions, then disruption of river flow as a result of tidal power and others. So both the forest and water habitats, so they are suitable for dragonfly, and if we destroy that ecosystem, so they will get extinct. Then come to next, Malayan giant squirrel. So a first of its kind study by the Zoological Survey of India has projected that numbers of Malayan giant squirrels, that is the Rotufa bicolor, could decline by 90% in India by 2050. So friends, the 90% is a huge number. So remember this. So if the destruction goes unabated, so by 2050, so 90% decline can occur. Then currently it is found in the West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, then Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya and Nagaland. And remember friends, this is not a flying squirrel. So here we can see it is bicolor. So the top is black and the bottom is all whitish in color. Then come to next, the Elium nigianum and Bryum bharatiensis. So friends, in the name itself, the nigianum is present and the bharatiensis is present. So try to hit the guessworks on the word pronunciations here. Then a plant discovered in Uttarakhand in 2019. So that is the Elium nigianum, and this is the genus that includes many staple foods such as onion and garlic. So this here Elium nigianum is also a subspecies of this genus which contains onions and garlics. And although new to science, the species has been long been known under the domestic cultivation to local communities. So local communities cultivated this even before the science knew it. And this is restricted to the region of Western Himalayas and hasn't yet been reported from anywhere else in the world. So this might be endemic to the Western Himalayas. So remember the Allium negianum, and they belong to onion and garlic family, and then they might be endemic to Western Himalayas. Then come to next, the Bryum bharatiensis. So it is a new moss species discovered in eastern Antarctica by Indian scientists. So that Bharat, so remember that here. Then this is the first time India discovered a plant species since the research station was set up in Antarctica in 1984. So friends, we know that mosses, they come under the kingdom Plantae. So that is why this is the first discovery of a plant species since 1984. Then come to next, the Grevillea boro. So this Grevillea boro is a spider, and it is a newly discovered burrow spider. So it will burrow and it will hide inside, and it was found in Jarbari range of western Assam's Chirang Reserve Forests. So remember Chirang Reserve Forest where it was being found, and its name has been derived from the Bodo community. So friends, here the Grevillea boro. So this boro is also pronounced as Bodo. So remember that. Then come to next, the deep sea mollusk. So a new species of deep sea mollusks belonging to the family Xylophaga has been identified from Arabian Sea for the first time, and the word Xylophaga itself denotes the wood eating, and they are deep sea dwellers recording even at depths of 7,000 meters. And friends, what is a mollusk? It is the phylum Molluscans. So that means the hard-shelled animals. So octopus is one of the example for the molluscans, but however, this species, that is the deep sea mollusk, so that I didn't get, so we will remember this, at least with the octopus image. Then come to next, the Pyrostria lalji. So here remember Lal, so this is an Indian scientist's name. So the 15-meter tall tree that belongs to the genus of coffee family has recently been discovered in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the new species, that is the Pyrostria lalji, is also the first record of genus Pyrostria in India. So mark friends, the whole genus Pyrostria was not at all present in India unless this was discovered, and trees belonging to these species are usually found in Madagascar, and the tree is distinguished by a long stem with a whitish coating on the trunk. So here we have only the flower, we don't have the stem. Then this was first reported from Vandur forest in South Andaman, and the IUCN status is critically endangered. So these are some of the facts. Then the Subdoluceps nilgiriensis. So here a new species of Asian gracile skink has been discovered recently in Anaikatti hills of Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. So friends, this is a skink, and it is collectively called Asian gracile skink, and its name is Subdoluceps nilgiriensis. And friends, these new species are closely related to the Subdoluceps pruthi that is found in the parts of Eastern Ghats. So in the Eastern Ghats we have one more Subdoluceps genus, that is the Subdoluceps pruthi. Then it is currently considered as vulnerable species as there are potential threats from the seasonal forest fires and then housing constructions and brick kilns. Remember the species and the scientific name of this, and then the other genus which is present in the Eastern Ghats, and also the cause for its reduction in number. So these are some of the facts. Then coming to the last part, friends, hereby we end the 60 days long journey, and I hope you had a good time, and even we had a good time with you. And to the brim of our capacity, we had tried to give whatever possible. So in these, whatever bad we have given, so leave it back to us, and whatever good you feel, necessarily take it to your brain, take it to the exam hall and use it and become civil servants and go on to make India a very great nation and also serve the people. And remember friends, millions and millions of Indians, so they are waiting that, so good people will come to serve us. So let us all fulfill the expectations of those hopeful eyes which are looking forward. So all the very best from my side. Good luck friends.